if, now it says example 4, no worries here, but for what value does x have to be in order for this to not have an inverse? Well, in order for there to be no inverse, the determinant of the matrix needs to equal 0. So I know the determinant is taking the 2 and the x and multiplying them, and then subtract these guys, right? Okay? So that means I'm going to have 2x minus a negative 8 times 3. And in order for this to have no inverse, it's got to equal 0. So I set up this algebraic statement, and I solve for x. So when x is equal to negative 12, the determinant would be 0, and that would cause this matrix to not have an inverse. Okay, so it's a good problem just to kind of work with determinants, know how to find them, and also the concept of what causes a matrix to not have an inverse. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and determine whether this matrix has an inverse or not. And remember, the determinant cannot equal 0. Okay? So the determinant cannot equal 0. If it does, so if the determinant is equal to 0, then there is no inverse. Okay, so let's find the determinant. So the determinant the determinant of matrix M is, we're going to take these pieces, right, A, B, C, and D, and we're going to take A times B minus, let me rewrite that. I made a mistake here. It's going to be A times D minus C times B. So our matrix is negative 2, 5, 2, negative 4. So the determinant is negative 2 times negative 4 minus 5 times 2. So when I multiply these guys together, I get a positive 8 minus 10, so I get negative 2. And right here we have our formula for an inverse. So now what I want to do is I want to find the inverse of this matrix. The determinant is not 0, so we do have an inverse that we can find. So to find that, I'm going to go up here. It's 1 over the determinant of A. So that means it's 1 over negative 2. And then I'm going to take my original matrix, which is right here to the left, and I switch this diagonal, which are negative 2 and negative 4. So I'm going to put negative 4, negative 2, and then these guys right here, these two guys, we just write them as opposite values. So 5 becomes negative 5, and 2 becomes negative 2. And now all I do is just calculate the scalar multiplication, and we're good to go. So negative 4 times a negative half is 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is a 1. This would be a positive 5 halves, and this would be a positive 1. So the inverse of matrix M is the matrix that you see here, this 2 by 2. I'm actually going to go backwards. I wanted to do this example first, but I want to do another example where